Welcome to That Davis Show. My name is Kenneth Davis. Follow me on all social media platforms at That's Davis. Always fortunate enough to be joined by executive producer, and that is Ryan Bukoveski. Follow him at Ryan B. Ski and Ryan B. Ski 1. Today's topic that Ryan brought to the table is, if you can go back and uninvent something, what invention would you erase from history? Which is pretty interesting. And I think mine should be pretty evident. You know me. I'm going to ask you, Ryan, what do you think mine will be?
I feel like the phone would be up there for you.
Nah, phone. That's a good one, but the thing with the phone is, no, I don't. It's not. That's definitely not number in my top 10. I would believe, actually, to be honest with you. I mean, I think it's a problem, and I think it's a problem more for these younger generations. I'm on my phone too much. Let me say that, and I allow it to fill up too much of my time. But I'm cognizant of it, and I can take breaks, and I do take breaks. Lately, I haven't. I need to get back to. It's funny, since I haven't decreased my time. That alert that Apple gives you about weekly about how much you've been on your phone, I haven't seen one in weeks, and I know it's because I haven't seen one because my phone time is up. When my phone time is decreasing, it pops up to let me know. But when I feel like when it's increasing, I don't see that alert. Now it could be I just don't catch it, but I feel like I would. Just like I notice when I delete people that I follow on Instagram, how the algorithm works to try to entice me to come back. You know what I'm saying? It goes through all of my vices, my Instagram vices. So black stuff, women, you know what I'm saying? Science, you know what I'm saying? It goes through all the things like, hey, I know you like this. I know you like this. You love those black women, don't you? Here, it just, it hits me. It gives me that. So I'm cognizant of that, and I can do better, but I still know the value of, for instance, being a parent. I like the fact that I can get in contact with my kids when they leave the house. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the world that we live in now. And I grew up, Chicago's always been violent, but still you like to be able to know, and they can get in contact with me. You know what I'm saying? So the phone, especially, having family, it's definitely an asset and a hindrance for me. But matter of fact, since you gave so let's go. Was the phone yours?
Yeah, I guess that's my top one, but I'm kind of with you. It's not the phone itself. It's the modern day smartphone, I guess, if you will. I enjoy the phone just in general. How I grew up with it is what is ideal to me. You have a house phone, maybe you get a cell phone at some point, but it's just basic for messaging / calling. You're not really doing anything on your phone. Maybe take some pictures if it's one of the camera phones type thing. But now, maybe not so much now, certainly talking with people my age growing up when we were first getting them, talking to younger people now that are really in the smartphone era. Like, it's kind of crazy to me seeing the stats of, people from now on will never grow up without iPhones type thing. Like, all those people are grown up. It's only the people moving forward will only know a life of smartphones and cell phones. And like you said, there are advantages to it. It's not just a total negative. But to me, there's just, I think, a huge part of the general mental health issues that we are facing as humanity. I think a lot of it stems from social media. I think you get it a lot from that, because it's just a constant world of either negativity with things that, things that you tend to like, where you get negative reactions to it, or there's usually, you have an enviness, if you will, a jealousy of how people are out there living, how people are doing out there in the world. And even for me, sometimes I just have to put down the phone because I'm just going through Instagram thinking like, ugh, it's bothering me that I don't have some of this stuff type thing.
Definitely. So what's your real one then?
Well, I think in terms of uninventing, Man, a big thing for me would be, can we uninvent some of the stuff that we did to put all the crap in our food? Like that's
Mm,
one thing that I
that's a
would
great one.
love.
That's a
We
great
just
one.
put way too much crap in our food, and for how long it was just completely okay without anybody really investigating or bringing to light. I love talking about sometimes Canada, just because people will ask me. That's one of the best places I've had a Burger King Whopper. Just
Mm,
because the food was so fresh, you can't put in half the shit you can put in here. And talking about the preservatives, the artificial fillers, flavorings, and a lot of that stuff stems from just corn and farming and supplementing farmers. And what are we going to do with all this extra food that we are paying for now as a country through the government? Let's just put it in our food. Let's not let it go to waste. But a lot of that stuff can be like the worst thing for you, especially the like high fructose corn syrup type stuff.
mhm.
It's just that would be one thing I'd love to do is some of these inventions that we had for food, preservative wise, artificial wise. What if we can uninvent some of those things and food just stayed more fresh in
That's a
general?
great one. That's a great one right there. All right, I'll give you mine and we can get out of here. Since you didn't guess it, I would go back in the day, and I would uninvent boats. So without boats, I mean, that's a lot of colonization that wouldn't take place if you
Right.
didn't have a boat. And I
You
would
know, it's
like so
crazy to think about that. Like, what would
right.
the
So
world look like?
I would love to see what a country like Africa, America, Latin America, Australia, like what all these. I mean, Africa is a continent. I meant to say, but all these different places, I would like to see by until the White brothers started doing their thing, right? And it's still commercial flight didn't take place to probably 30 years after that. You know what I'm saying? So until like the 1940s, 50s, I would like to see how the world would have grown without colonization. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, and also there wouldn't be a lot of whitewashed history because we got to go back. Um, Europe's been colonizing for since what? For shit,
Oh
seven, eight
boy.
hundred years.
Yeah, a long
You know what
time.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? About I would
Yeah.
say what the 1300s or something around. You know what I'm saying? As far so, if you take boats away, right, where you can't come over, or it's arduous for you to come over here. You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
we could see you
impossible
coming,
without the boat. Like,
right?
because
You know what I'm saying?
you wouldn't know where to go. You would just think it's ocean. You
Right?
wouldn't
You know what
think
I'm
like, let
saying?
me just swim west and I'll get to America from
Now,
Europe. Like,
now
no, you
look,
have no idea.
you could be at the tip of Spain and be like, wait, North Africa's over there, but you still got to cross over. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would love to know if we just didn't allow colonization and then look, boats, that's all, right? Just boats, so that was the first thing because with me, it's always going to go back to the blackness. What
That
happens
is
if you,
interesting though, because
right?
technically Africa, Asia, and Europe are all connected enough that they could just get
Technically,
there by
and they
land, right?
right, but still, just think about the ability to take it over, though. You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? Like that
Right.
that hinders your ability to move units and weapons. You know what I'm saying? To where, yeah, you could have come through the Middle East, but I mean, you're about time, perhaps, and I've never put it past colonizers that they could have walked all the way and got it done to South Africa, but it would have slowed a lot of
Oh
one.
man,
They
yeah.
couldn't pull it. They couldn't pull it on America,
Yeah. You couldn't
North
just pull
America.
people and leave.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you look, especially when you think about when you're talking about slavery, it wasn't like they had like a ton of slaves in London. You know what I'm saying? As far as like
Mhm.
what y'all gonna do now with these slaves, where you don't have a place to grow these cash crops that you want to use them for. So that one would be mine. Something simple as boats. I would uninvent boats. All right, which I'm
Interesting.
sure that would hurt, but it wouldn't hurt me as much, perhaps, or my ancestors, I should say. And not even just
Yeah. I
my
mean, how's
plenty,
that hurting?
plenty of people. I mean, perhaps indigenous Americans would still have some type of handhold on their own country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like North and South America would be hippie land. Everybody would just be hanging out, doing whatever. While Asia, Europe, Africa, there's just bloodshed everywhere. They're all trying to control each other because they can walk and actually
Right.
go to
You know
the
what I'm
different
saying?
places.
So that would be mine. If we could stop a way to stop colonization from Europe into all these other places, from the UK to all these other places, from the Dutch, the Swedish, you know what I'm saying, with Leopold, all that bullshit he did down in Africa.
You know, to kind of carry on yours, I would love to see the world without the invention of guns.
Yeah, you're right. Because then numbers matter again, right? That's numbers. Then we back to damn, they procreating like a motherfucker over there, right? Like numbers. That's when we're back to numbers. That's a good one. You know what I'm saying? You just can't, if you don't have those modernized weapons to where you're outnumbered, but you can slay, let's say 8 people in 2 minutes, which now seems slow, but back then that was impressive. You know what I'm saying? If you could pop, you know, like that, hey, you know, let alone the invention of the Gatling gun, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's a great one. That's a great one. So that's all for me as far as if I could go back and uninvent something. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I would uninvent?
I was trying to think if there's like a silly something. I can't really think of anything in terms of that. Like, I was trying to think if we could uninvent some kind of landscaping something where you no longer wanted to do that chore. Like lawn mowing. If we never invented the lawnmower, would we just kind of get over this grass stuff? Like, I'm done with this.
It's so tall. I mean, man, like, just goodness gracious. I mean, think about, like, some people don't know, like, dude, a unchecked weed could be a tree in 2 years, right? I mean, as tall as 6 feet or more. And those things, look, I don't know why we don't make stuff out of weeds. And I mean, actually, the not weed hemp. I'm talking about weed. Because if you ever see, like, if you ever had to clean up around a house that's been abandoned, and like all those long, what you think are trees that are sticking up, those, you know, it may be only this wide or whatever, that was a weed. And it grew into that, right? So I'm just saying it's sustainable as fuck. So I don't see why we don't necessarily use that for something. But yeah, that's why I can't go with that, because dog, you wouldn't be able to see out your front window.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything.
Kids would be lost. Dog, do you understand? Like, imagine. Okay, let's go back. Imagine walking down the street and no one mows their yards, and all you hear is growling, and you don't even know where the dog out of the yard is coming from. Because now it's like I'm in the jungle with tall grass, right?
Now I'm thinking of that Simpsons Tobacco episode where they find this farm and no one's cut the farm and Homer's just swimming in the grass out front because it's so tall.
I don't remember if I remember that episode or not. But yeah, that one I couldn't do that one. But yeah, I'm still good with stopping colonization. Or putting some brakes on colonization, because it's been an infection, to be honest. I mean, like, it hasn't helped a lot of people, right? Just to be honest with you, it hasn't helped a lot of people, man. So that will be mine, because I would like to see how things could have been untouched to a degree. Let me say that, to a degree, because they still have land connections. But yeah, I would like to see that. So all right. That's it for this episode. Ryan, again, great work. We will look forward to talking to you all down the line, and please don't do anything crazy. Proud of hearing from us again.